Morning Power Call. This is number 177. This is one you are going to want to rewatch. This is one you're going to want to review because what I'm about to say today, if you thought Chaos Week was a big announcement, was a big shocking thing, this is going to be even more so. This is going to change how you view, I think, everything. I think this might change how you view absolutely everything you do inside of this campus, how you approach your copywriting work. I think this is going to change how you approach the way you do your outreach. What I'm about to share with you today and what we're going to talk about is going to absolutely disrupt your understanding of outreach. Now, I baited you guys all in here talking about spam. I said, hey, this is how to get out of spam. And while that is 100% true, you are going to learn how to avoid being marked as spam for the rest of your life. But there is a larger lesson at play here. There is a larger principle that you absolutely have to understand as a copywriter and as a person seeking to make his way in the world, seeking to make money in the world. You have to understand this lesson because it is the foundation of all this. And this is honestly the reason why most people never make it. This is the one reason why most people never, ever in a million years make money, right? It's because of the one thing I'm going to talk about today, this one important perspective shift. So let's dive into it. I would talk about announcements. I would talk about all the things we have going on, the AI challenge, all that stuff. I'm going to save that to the end because I need to talk about this right now. 1 second. I've got a 2-year-old that wants to join the call because he can feel the energy. Give me All right, I'm back. Happy pause. Real quick, I just want to let you guys know the eye surgery is going well, or the recovery is going well. The only issue is I can't lift anything over 30 pounds. And that includes both my kids. So my kids have been missing dad who takes them on adventures, throws them up and hikes them and all that stuff. So they've been missing that. So my 2-year-old is just like waiting outside the door for dad to be ready again. And I'm not. And it's unfortunate. Let's get back to it. So we're going to talk about outreach. We're going to talk about this and why. And again, honestly, this is the big difference. This is why some people make money and this is why people don't. And it's if you get this right, all the little tiny techniques you need to understand with copywriting, all the little tiny persuasion things I teach, they kind of just fall into place if you truly understand and apply this principle. I'm going to start talking about spam. I'm going to start talking about why people get marked as spam and how to avoid it. And then I'm going to lead to the larger principle. It's going to lead to that naturally. So let's talk about spam. Some of you get marked as spam. Some of you have been sending hundreds and hundreds of emails and you've not got a single response. If that is the case, I'm about to show you why. It's important. I've talked about the importance of doing research, understanding your avatar, like you create an avatar for the business type you want to reach out to and then go do research on them. That's important. You still need to do all that, but this goes above and beyond that. So let me, Mr. Producer, my screen so I can show you some examples of what I am talking about. One moment. Gotta make sure I'm not sharing the screen of the stream because you guys can already see the stream. That is not important. All right. Let's get this set up for you. I had it pulled up earlier and it, for some reason, minimized. All right. Here we go. All right, you should be able to see the screen and you should be able, there we go. Let's do that. That's a little bit better. Spam. Let's look at the actual definition of spam. Now, obviously there's the spam that people eat, but let's talk about actual spam and what is perceived as spam. Number one, the definition, the noun, irrelevant or inappropriate messages sent on the internet to a large number of recipients. The verb, send the same message indiscriminately to large number of recipients on the internet. That is the dictionary definition of spam. And that's pretty accurate, right? If a person or a email marketing, email filter system detects that a message is irrelevant, not relevant to the actual person, inappropriate, obviously, or if it is very clearly the same message that is sent indiscriminately, that means like to everybody, just because they're anybody, right? The message sent indiscriminately to a large number of recipients. It's just a copy and paste and blast out there. It is literally spam. That is the definition of spam, right? So you have to ask yourself, and I want everyone on this call to honestly take a look at your outreach right now and ask yourself, do you technically meet the definition of spam? Are you sending a message that's irrelevant, that doesn't actually mean anything to them, or is it doesn't fit their situation? That's one thing. Is it inappropriate? Some of you guys use goofy stories. I've seen one or two of you that have used some weird stories about different things. Is it inappropriate? Or is it the exact same? Is it a copy and paste? Basically the exact same template, 100% same thing sent indiscriminately to anybody you can happen to find their email address online to. Honest, like goodness to honest, like look at this, be completely honest with yourself. Is that you? Are you technically spam? Now, this is an uncomfortable thing to try and think about. You would never really want to be spam, but this is the moment to come to grips with yourself. Have you sent messages like this? Are you technically sending spam? Because if you are, you're going to get marked by filters as being spam, because they're going to see this guy sends 40, 20, 10. It doesn't matter. He sends a whole bunch of emails that are exactly the same to a bunch of people, a bunch of random people. They never reply. He's a spammer. We're going to send this stuff to spam. That's how that happens, right? Also, if you send a message and I, as the reader, as the business owner, read it and say, this is completely irrelevant to me. It has nothing to do with me. It doesn't meet my situation. And it is very obvious a message that this guy has cold blasted out to thousands of people. I will mark it as spam, and you will get your sender score will go way down, and you will never be able to deliver your actual content to people. So technically, you need to ask yourself, is this spam? Now, here's why spam is such a problem, right? This is why for the person receiving it, for the prospect, for the person on the other end, spam is such a problem. It is because it is 0% valuable to my life, right? It has no nutritional value, right? I'm staring at this disgusting spam. It has no nutritional value. The message that you're sending to me, it helps zero. It gives me, it's not related to me or what I'm doing. All it does is take my time and my energy, and it is from someone who obviously doesn't actually care about providing me any value. They're just there to take my money. That is 100% what spam is, right? And if you're sending messages like this, that means that you actually fit that criteria. You honestly are trying to just get someone to pay you money. That's all you care about in this world, and you don't care about providing the extra value in return for that, right? You are not willing to invest the time and energy necessary to provide value with your communication. Therefore, you are technically spam. If this is you, you need to stop emailing today, right? If you are sending out emails that are the same message indiscriminately to any number of recipients on the internet, you are spam, and you should stop today and completely reassess how you send out your email. We're going to talk about ways to do that and how to improve this. If you are using Streak CRM to do a mail merge, regardless of how personalized it is, I'm going to recommend right now that you stop doing that and you only send emails personally, one-on-one. I'm going to explain why a little bit more as we move through this. So let's go to the next image here. So I've got a couple pulled up for you. Let's see if I can go to the next one. Here is an example email from inside of the campus. Someone submitted this for review. I haven't included their name. Some of you might know who this is. If this is you, don't worry about it. Like, I'm going to go harsh on this, but it's honestly just a lesson you need to learn. And it doesn't necessarily reflect on you as an individual. Maybe it does. It's up for you to decide. But look at this email. This is an email that someone submitted. Obviously, there's some feedback. Like, a lot of students saw this as not good and gave some feedback. But I see this type of email come up probably 20, 30, maybe 40% of the time from students in the campus who fail to understand the nature of outreach. And I'm going to describe why this is a problem and why this doesn't actually provide value for the actual person. So I'm going to read it out. Desires are the key. Subject line. Steve, have you ever wondered what drives people into taking action with something? What makes them start a fitness journey, work hard, or buy something? Desires. Desires rule people's mind. They control everything that we do. You need to build a desires for your fitness training, whatever, in your audience's mind. By doing that, they will have an increase. You will have an increase in your income from it. I have prepared something that will put those emotions in your email. If you are interested and want to trigger desires of your audience, let me know. I will send them over. This email provides zero value for the person receiving it. This is technically spam. It's basically the same message. You're only personalizing with name and product and a signature. It's essentially the exact same message. I guarantee you are blasting this out to a lot of people, and this provides zero value. You don't think people know the desires are what drives action? This doesn't teach anything. This doesn't give anything. And it has nothing to do. It's irrelevant to the business. It's just as relevant to this business as anybody in the entire planet. This is technically spam. And if you're sending this out and you're not getting replies, that is why. It's because you are literally providing no value with your communication. Zero. None. If I'm a business owner, I open this. This is a waste of my time. This is a waste of my energy. And there is no way I'm going to trust you to write for me because the grammar's way off, which is the tiniest problem here. But it's very obvious that you are spewing emptiness. There is no value here. There is no substance. It's just empty. There's no actual value or anything that's going to help my business. It's just vague emptiness. This is not valuable communication. It's not worth my time. It wasn't worth the time I invested reading in it. And I'm definitely not going to talk with this guy to help him grow my business because this first value trade was off. And again, I talk about this at the very beginning of the boot camp. All business, all communication is a value exchange. They invest time and energy and you provide value. They invest more time and energy, you provide more value. They invest more time and energy. And when I say time and energy, half the time that means money, big money. They're going to start investing money into you and you need to provide extreme value to them. If the very first interaction they ever have with you, they invest any amount of time and energy, 2 minutes to read this email, and you provide no value. In fact, you expose them to just like a slimy, scammy message like this, they will never trust you with another ounce of their time and energy. And if you send a follow-up and another follow-up, or even just to send this email and they get enough things like this, they're going to start marking it as spam to get payback for that deficit of their time and energy. You made them invest time and energy and you provided no value and you obviously showed up and you obviously just wanted to take from them. They are going to mark you as spam in just retribution, and they are going to be 100% accurate. If this is you and you send messages like this, you need to stop sending emails immediately and you need to fix your approach, right? This is absolutely abhorrent because it conveys the fact that you are unwilling to invest the time and energy to create value for someone else before asking from them. It's incredibly rude and incredibly lazy to act like this. Now, if you're learning, you're first trying stuff out, maybe that's a little bit of a harsh statement, but honestly, that's what it means. If you really, really look deep down, if you don't provide an equal amount of value to the people you are talking to and are asking from them things, their time and their energy, that's a fundamental disconnect from how the world works and how people work. And you will never be successful in business or be able to be successful as a copywriter unless you fix that problem and start investing time and energy to provide value so you can earn more of their time and energy. It's extremely foundational. Now, I'm going to show you guys a good example. Now, this is an example. This isn't a perfect example, but here's an example of a student who at least tried to provide value when they did their outreach. I don't know if you guys can read this. Maybe I'll bump it up. This one's a little bit different size. Yeah, let's do this one. It's just a little screenshot I did. All right. Subject line. I really enjoyed this. Hi, Sabrina. I saw a recent message from your book. You're overthinking on Twitter. If you have a void within, you'll never fully be able to trust them and you'll never feel good enough, blah, blah, blah. This can be true between both men and women, and it shows deep understanding and authenticity in your work. It's not the best compliment, but this is an example of someone who's at least trying to provide value. Someone on Twitter plugged your book, and from one Google search to another, I came across your YouTube page. You have a unique approach to dating that I strongly believe in. That's kind of vague, but it's a step in the right direction compared to the last one, which is why I looked over your website and saw your landing page. I had some ideas in my head while reading, so I wrote these ideas down. I think it can be very valuable for your business. If I was saying I would teach specific ideas, I'd be like, hey, I was reading it. I thought I saw a unique way you could maybe change your clothes to get more people to sign up. I would try and make it more specific what you're teasing. But again, this is just a random example I pulled this morning. I have attached these ideas to your page. Let me know if I can polish up any further for you. It's a lot of fun doing it, working at all of the best. Mike Jones. This at least makes sense only in Sabrina's inbox, and it is you are leading with value. You are showing up and bringing value. This is completely different. Now, it's not perfect. There's a lot of things I would change about this particular email. There's some things that would probably need to be tweaked, but the foundation of it is solid because the guy is showing up. Mike Jones is showing up with value. He is showing up and he is saying, hey, I'm here to help you. I'm here to speak and give you something that is relevant. Let's go back to the definition of spam. It is the inverse, right? It is relevant to the business. It's appropriate. It's not sent indiscriminately to a large number of requests on the internet. He can't send this exact same message to anybody else in the world because it won't make any sense because they're not Sabrina, because it's not a compliment that matches them, because the actual value he provided, the little tips and tricks on re-editing the sales page only make sense to her, right? That is an example of value. This is not. I actually, when I read this yesterday, I called up a business friend of mine, a guy who owns a business online in roughly the same niche. And I said, my friend, I'm going to read you this. I want you to give me your honest opinion. He laughed. He laughed at this email because he's like, I get these all the time. These are 0% value. I mark them as spam. And I'm like, good, keep marking those kinds of spam. Guys, when I saw this particular message and when I saw this type of stuff, when I see people who are showing up and not providing value, it makes me question whether or not I should continue teaching you guys the advanced stuff that I teach you. Because I'm telling you, I'm giving you guys like the nuclear codes on how to persuade and influence people. And if you don't use them responsibly, if you don't provide value to people, you are going to I'm going to consider whether or not I should teach you guys more stuff about this, just because I don't want to be associated in any way, shape, or form with anybody who doesn't take the time and energy to invest in creating value for people. And now, yeah, I see the chat now. I finally got back to it. Yeah, one of the students in there has realized that this was theirs, and they're feeling a little hurt. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, but I'm trying to make a point very, very clear, because I care more about your success than the way you feel about your email message, right? I want you to be successful, and this is an actual literal hurdle you have to go over, and it's such a big one that I think the message has to sting a little bit. I think you have to actually literally understand this with a little bit of pain so you can change, right? Business is about providing value for other people, right? Copywriting helps makes that value go down and helps communicate that value. But at the end of the day, you have to provide value, right? The product, you are a product. Your communication is a product. You only buy products that are useful and give you something useful. If you send messages or sell products, or your writing itself has no value, you haven't actually taken time to figure out a way to help the person you're writing. It's like you're selling dog crap as food. It's like you're a restaurant, and instead of selling actual food, you're taking dog crap and you're putting a lot of really cool like frosting on it, and you're plating it really nice. You're putting a little garnish of this, and you gave it a cool name, but it's just dog crap. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much you tweak that dog crap. It's still dog crap. You have to, whereas if you compare that to, let's say you're serving a steak and you don't season it perfect, but it's still a solid cut of meat from a raised animal, and the guy's hungry, it's going to be infinitely more valuable and enjoyable for the person than your dog crap with a nice like honey glaze on the top of it. You have to focus on the value that you provide. Now, like I said, I'm going to talk about spam, but I'm going to expand to the bigger picture here, because this is honestly one of the things. Like I said, this is how you determine if you're going to be successful in the world. If you look at people who have changed the world with their products, or who have disrupted industries, or who have earned lots of money, most of the time, and the only ones who've done it at an extended amount of time, have done so because they found a new way, or they found a significant way that they could provide value to the world on something that's important, right? You look at Amazon. Amazon is successful because it has greatly removed a lot of pain and frustration from shopping. It saved a lot of human time and energy, and it's created a huge, valuable way for people to get things that they need. It facilitates that transaction, right? It's produced a lot of value, and as such, it's made a lot of money, right? It's earned a lot in return because it's given so much value. You look at people that are doing things that are important, things they're providing, they're solving an important problem, they receive a lot of money as a return, right? The actual product itself has to be good. So I want you all to start focusing on improving the value of your product, which is your writing, which is your digital marketing skills. You've gone through the boot camp, you've practiced, you've done a little bit of things here, but how many of you have continued to practice? How many of you have continued to research and break down swipe files and continue to practice the short form and the long form stuff? How many of you guys had continued to do the practice? That's a half of the new daily checklist, right? The daily checklist is like this much outreach and this much improve your marketing skills and improve your marketing abilities. I'm there to help you. I'm going to continue to give more value and information and to help you guys improve your marketing IQ. But it's up to you to actually improve that, right? Your writing has to be valuable. And to do that, you have to understand how to research, you know how to understand how humans work, you need to understand what the actual specific roadblocks they're facing and how to position the product, the thing that you're talking about, as something that's going to help them overcome that roadblock. If you don't accomplish that, then you're just it's the dog crap example on a nice plate, right? You use cool subject lines and cool entry, but at the end of the day, you're presenting nothing that's actually valuable to the person, and the email itself isn't valuable or helpful to them. Then you're just putting dog crap on a plate with some nice frosting. You need to focus on being able to provide value. That's the foundation upon which it all rests. It doesn't matter how good your streak CRM work is. It doesn't matter how good your subject line is. If at the end of the day you're not providing actual valuable communication to the people, it doesn't matter. Like the copywriting is just like all the stuff that makes it go down really well on the outside. You want to have a really good product, a really good, let's say, cut of steak that is cooked to perfection with the right seasoning and the right plating, and it's just a wonderful experience. You want to create that, but it all rests on your ability to first start with something that is valuable. So this has been an intense power up. This, like I said, this is one that is going to change, could potentially change how you view everything if you take the time to truly understand what I'm saying and look at it and how it applies on the outside world. If you find yourself sending messages that are like that first example, I want you to stop sending emails today. Don't send any email to a single prospect today or tomorrow. Stop using Streak CRM. Stop blasting things out like that. I want you to sit down and find ways that you can show up with value in a community, as you communicate with your people, right? How can you make your communication itself, the product itself, more valuable? So when they invest their time and energy into you, they are more likely to return the favor by actually reading your message and continuing up your value ladder. If that first experience is bad, nothing else works. You have to make sure that you give a lot of value on that. So I want you guys to start thinking about that. Value is everything. Value is literally the entire thing. Real quick, I have a super chat or whatever they call it on Rumble. Thank you for this message today, Andrew. I went over my outreach and I thought of more variables I can add to make it more personalized and more value. Yes, personalization is part of this. My friends, it's been good. I really appreciate you guys tuning in today. We're going to talk today about later today. We're gonna do our I just catch up on the chat. Later today, we're gonna finish the breakdown on the John Carlton ad. That's gonna be today at 2 p.m. MST. So if you want to continue to improve your ability to provide value with your communication and the way you show up and help businesses, you're gonna want to attend or at least catch the replay on this one, because breaking down these pieces of copy has allowed me to teach and refine some of the ideas that you guys have around copy and help you guys improve your marketing IQ, which is the foundation that this all rests on, is how much value can you actually provide to a business at the end of the day? How good is your writing? How well can you understand their avatar? And how well can you step into their marketing funnels and help them shine? So if you can attend the meeting, the call later today, please do so. If I recommend that everyone re-watches this video at least once, today's power up, at least once, because this is a foundational shift for so many of you people. Like most people go through work and they just show up at a job and they get paid for it. And there's not a whole lot of investment or a lot of thought about creating value. You just kind of do your duties and you go away, right? You kind of check the boxes and you go away and they send you money. That's how most people grew up inside the matrix. That's how it is, right? You have to shift your thinking. You have to shift from that to how can I provide value so I provide $1 million worth in value so they'll pay me $100,000, right? That's how you have to start thinking about this work. Like that's the level of value you need to provide to receive that type of reward in this world. So start thinking about that. What kind of value can I provide in this first email interaction or this first social media interaction? It doesn't matter what channel you take. 5 different channels if you want. What kind of value can I provide in this first interaction or this first series of interactions so that they are more than happy to respond to me? How can I guarantee that happens because I provide so much unique value to them? That's something to think about, something to ponder. So watch this video again, think about this, use these lessons. Shout out to the guy who wrote the terrible email. Shout out to him because he provided this wonderful opportunity for us all to talk. So thank you for all that you guys have done. Thank you for all the fun things you guys have been doing with Chaos Week. It's been a great week. I'm kind of tempted just to let it run a little bit longer, but we need order. We need to move forward with some order. It's been good. Talk to you guys later today. Let's consider this. Consider the value. I'll talk to you guys.